Today you've joined us on one of those days where the news was breaking so fast, it almost broke us. We are now 33 days away from the election. We are 34 days away from Trump saying the election was rigged, and which is just as he did 4 years ago, and just as is laid out in a comprehensive and damning new report from Special Counsel Jack Smith. Remember him? The judge overseeing the January 6th case in Washington unsealed a 165-page court filing that specifically details a mountain of evidence and testimony against Donald Trump. All the stuff we know happened, we now have in writing from dozens of members of Trump's inner circle, including his vice president. We went through all 165 pages this afternoon. When I say we, I mean Guillermo and me.
Yes.
Each did 82 and a half pages. Can you believe all that stuff?
I can't.
What jumped out at you as most shocking?
Oh, my God, it was crazy. It's too much. It was
too much, yeah. The filing... He is right, though. The filing lays out the increasingly desperate ways Trump tried to steal the election. You know, sometimes I would wonder, like, does Trump really believe that this election was stolen from him? Does he believe it? And the answer is no, he doesn't. His plan all along was to declare himself the winner, even if he wasn't, which he did. And then when he realized he was going to lose, he made up these claims of fraud. He called governors and election officials. He hammered Mike Pence. He deliberately spread lies, even though he privately admitted they were crazy lies. He was directly involved in the fake elector scheme, and he stole all the Oreos from the White House snack cabinet. Double-stuffed them down his pants. And many of the names in the filing are redacted. They blacked them out. But it's not that hard to figure out who's who. For instance, while aboard Marine One, the defendant told his wife, daughter, name redacted, and son-in-law, name redacted. It doesn't matter if you won or lost the election. You still have to fight like hell. I wonder which daughter and son-in-law he was talking to. Could it have been Ivanka and Jared? It's like a game of Clue. Colonel Ketchup did it with a shrimp fork in the dining room. One thing I didn't know, I knew Trump pressured Mike Pence to break the law. I just didn't know how many times he did it. There were meetings, phone calls, text messages. Pence was basically Trump's baby reindeer. Listen to this. On December 25th, when Pence called the defendant to wish him a Merry Christmas, the defendant raised the certification and told Pence that he had discretion in his role as president of the Senate. Pence emphatically responded, you know I don't think I have the authority to change the outcome. But can you imagine calling a guy to wish him a Merry Christmas? He's like, yeah, whatever. I need you to commit some treason for me. It's Christmas treason. Benedict Arnold was relentless with Mike Pence, and Pence tried everything to steer him right. He tried to convince him just run again in 4 years. The filing says Pence tried to encourage him as a friend. When news networks projected Biden as the winner of the election, Pence was like, keep your head up, and Trump was like, I'm going to put your head up in a noose. And sure enough, he did. I feel like as a country, we are not paying enough attention to the fact that the reason Mike Pence was not on the debate stage last night is because Trump tried to hang him like a human pair of truck nuts. More than 43 million Americans, tuned in to watch the matchup between Tim Walz and J.D. Vance last night. Unlike the last debate, there was no clear winner. J.D. Vance managed to present himself as polite, polished. He even had some jokes. Like when he said that Trump peacefully handed over power. That was hilarious. He also had the audacity to say that Trump saved Obamacare, which is so brazenly false. You might as well say Trump was our first black president. But maybe the most upsetting sentence that popped out of Vance's mouth was his idea to stop gun violence in schools. He said, we have to make the doors lock better. We have to make the doors stronger. We've got to make the windows stronger, which is so infuriating. This is like Boeing saying, we know our planes have been having some mechanical problems, but we have a solution. Puffier life jackets. A stronger door isn't going to stop a school shooting. It isn't even going to stop your wife from walking in on you humping the Jennifer convertible catalog. But other than the many untruths, it was a civilized discussion, which was nice. And after the debate, Vance and Walz, they had a nice little chat, which is how it should be. I mean, could you imagine Donald Trump doing that? Can you imagine him having a friendly exchange with his opponent? These guys, they were very friendly. They really seemed to be getting along almost to the point where you felt like, well, maybe they should run together. That's how you reach across the aisle. Trump, of course, said Vance crushed it. He was said to be so pleased with Vance's performance, he gifted him a $50 gift card to Sephora to replenish his eyeliner supply. Vance overall got solid marks from his fellow Republicans.
He was spectacular on that stage.
It was a masterclass.
I think it was a master class.
JD really did a good job.
JD was so good last night.
I thought JD did a great job.
He was great.
JD did an excellent job.
I don't think he could have done better.
He looked beautiful tonight. He looked humble. He looked earnest.
Smart, intelligent, bright.
Very confident, very polished.
He was so confident and comfortable.
Smart, likable, warm.
That was a guy I would like to sit down and have a beer with.
He clearly showed that he is the future of MAGA.
I think that Senator J.D. Vance sort of smoothed the rough edges on President Trump.
It was one of the best debate performances in American history.
Vance was able to make Trump's case better sometimes than even Trump can.
Uh-oh. Orange Julius Caesar is not going to like that at all. What a mixed box of nuggets this is for Trump. On one little hand, he has to love that his running mate did better than he did, but on the other, he hates that his running mate did better than he did. Some believe that this will be what convinces Trump to debate again, but for now, not only is he refusing to go another round with Kamala, he's decided he's going to pull out of an interview with 60 Minutes. I guess he learned his lesson with Eric and Don Jr., and he's pulling out. But part of the reason he is pulling out is because 60 Minutes told him we want to do live fact-checking, which would make it harder for him to lie about everything all the time. You'd think these guys would be embarrassed to be so against fact-checking. You know, if you include some facts in your sentences when you speak, there will be nothing to check. Shouldn't even be called fact-checking. Should be called bullshit patrol, okay? How are his voters okay with this? Wait, would you sleep with someone who repeatedly refuses to take an STD test? Trump brought this up during an appearance in Milwaukee. According to him, though, the real reason he suddenly decided to say no to 60 Minutes is because they owe him an apology.
They came to me and would like me to do an interview, but first I want to get an apology because the last time I did an interview with them, if you remember, they challenged me on the computer. They said the laptop from hell was from Russia. And I said it wasn't from Russia, it was from Hunter. And I never got an apology, so I'm sort of waiting. I'd love to do 60 Minutes. I do everything. I mean, I do you right now, right?
Not without buying me a drink, you don't. He won't do 60 Minutes, but if there is a group of doofuses in flat-brimmed hats with a podcast where they call him bro, he will be happy to plug your energy drink on that. He really seems like Trump is running out of steam. He doesn't seem to be having fun at his rallies anymore. He was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin yesterday, a swing state. He very much needs to win, and this is his pitch.
You wouldn't trust Joe or Kamala to run a lemonade stand anywhere, would you? If your child were running a stand, you know, the way I used to run a lemonade stand, I'd say, Mom, outside of my house in Queens, I'd run. There weren't that many people walking in front of the stand, but I ran it. But if I wasn't going to run it, I wouldn't let one of those two run it because they wouldn't have any idea.
Does anyone believe he ran a lemonade stand? I don't even believe he was a kid. I don't believe he was a child. I think we might need the chalkboard to go through that quote again because this is an interesting... Thank you, Guillermo.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, Trump said... Okay, thank you, Guillermo. All right. Trump said, you wouldn't trust Joe or Kamala to run a lemonade stand anywhere, would you? If your child were running a stand, you know, the way I used to run a lemonade stand, I'd say, Mom, outside of my house in Queens, I'd run. There weren't that many people walking in front of the stand, but I ran it. But if I wasn't gonna run it, I wouldn't let one of those two run it because they wouldn't have any idea. You understand? I'm glad we cleared that up. Could you imagine, I mean, really, how many hours Fox News would be screaming if Kamala Harris gave that little speech about a lemonade stand? Can you imagine voting for someone who rambled about a lemonade stand? Here's all you need to know. This is what the former head of the RNC, the Republican National Committee, a guy named Michael Steele, he ran the Republican National Committee. This is what he had to say about his party's leader last night.
And so I'm going to say it now, and for the next 35 days, y'all need to get up your ass and overwhelm the ballot box this November, because it's the only way you stop what's about to hit you upside your dumb head if you're not paying attention. Sorry, I can say that.
Well, no apology needed. We appreciate it. Hey, so I don't know if you saw this, but Forbes yesterday unveiled their list of the 400 richest people in America. Which, do you think billionaires get excited the night before that list comes out? Like, they're about to see if they got the part in a school play. But for the third year in a row, the despicably Elon Musk came in first with an estimated worth of $244 billion. Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg finished the year second and third. Oprah, who only has $3 billion, was too poor to make the list. But I have to say it's okay, because just because you're super rich doesn't mean everything in your life is good. For instance, you could have $3.7 billion. You could be the 359th richest person in the world, but that doesn't change the fact that your name is Eleanor Butt Crook and family. The other family of crooks, led by Donald Trump, after failing to make the list in 2023, was on it this year in 319th place. Donald Trump has a net worth of $4.3 billion, but his philanthropy score, they give each billionaire a philanthropy score. 5 is the most generous when it comes to giving back, and a 1 is Donald Trump. That's right. He puts the felon in philanthropy. And happier news, someone who is not a billionaire. Good wishes are in order for President Jimmy Carter, who turned 100 years old yesterday. He is the first president to live to 100. And though Jimmy Carter was not very popular when he was in office, but after he was in office, he did some great things, serving his fellow Americans, and his fellow luminaries were not shy about sending him birthday love.
Mr. President, on behalf of the entire Biden family and the American people, happy 100th birthday.
Happy birthday, and have a wonderful evening.
To my fellow President Jimmy Carter, happy 100th birthday.
Have a happy birthday, friend.
Be sharp, be smart, and keep being you. Much love from the king of the West Coast. Love you, my dog.
Everyone has a birthday, and everyone has friends and family that have birthdays. They're all very special. And I hear you love ham. Ham. Honey glazed ham, that's pretty good.
Vanilla Ice here. What's happening, brother? Happy birthday, man.
Have a great birthday party. FaceTime me. I'm going to drink with you. I'm going to be in New York, though, you know?
Ham, 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 ham. Ham stands for having a meat. Isn't that good?
It's really good, but you know, we may have had some confusion in the edit bay. I apologize for the technical difficulties.